MAXHUB.
Hey everybody, welcome to the now every other week webinar. Yeah, I get to come into people's lives every other week now and talk about video. I'm sure our audience is like, couldn't you get like a better looking person, right? Somebody from like Central Casting or something like that, So hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're having better weather than we are in Southern California. You're probably not though, because I literally, I was in Pennsylvania. I flew into Philadelphia, drove into Reading, and I think we beat the snowstorm by like half a day. And then we have a new rep in the Northeast, Jay Tesser. Shout out to Jay, new guy, just got hired, great guy. Folks at Sigmet are gonna love him, awesome guy. We're literally on the plane together. So I don't know how good your geography is, Jessica, but he lives in New Hampshire, right, which is right on the East Coast, and we were in Pennsylvania, which is just a little bit inside the East Coast, and he had to fly with me from Pennsylvania to Chicago. To Chicago, and then fly back from Chicago to New Hampshire, because that's the way the airport, the Southwest set up. So rather than just flying right to New Hampshire, which is like an hour flight, you know, 2 hours to Chicago, and then 2.5 hours back. I'm like, that sucks, man.
Oh, my
God. Oh yeah. And then we're on the plane together, and I'm laughing because once again, I didn't fly a whole lot last year, so I lost my status. So, you check in on Southwest, I get B59, and I'm like, great, I got to carry on. I got to upgrade. So I upgrade to I get A3, right? Text message James right next to me, hey, you better schedule. He's like, darn, I got a late B, right? So he's like, I'll be fine. We go to the airport, and he goes to upgrade at the airport. He gets A1. He jumps in front of me in line. And I'm like, hold on, I did mine yesterday, man. I don't get A1. I get A3. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't feel in love Southwest, but it's fine. That is what it is,
Is Southwest the one where it's like you have to it's like when you go on the plane you can pick whatever seat? That's okay.
Sam, our VP of sales, he calls it a cattle drive, right? He's like, literally, they open up the gates and everybody just charges in and picks a seat. It's really not that way. It's not that crazy, right? It's much more orderly. Sometimes it can be crazy, but it's normally pretty good. So
I don't like that because I always forget the 24 hours the night before to register. I will never remember.
If you get C, right? So they go A group 1 through 60, B group 1 through 60. If you're in the C group, look, you just got to suck it up and know you're getting a middle.
You're getting the middle seat. Yep.
Yeah, and you're going to be around some crying kids. It is what it is. You just kind of deal with it, right? But we're on the plane, and he's like showing me pictures from his home. He's like, yeah, so my girlfriend just sent me this picture, just like a foot of snow, and I'm like, dude, that sucks. He's like, nah, it ain't too bad. It'll get worse in a couple of days. I'm like, really?
Yeah, wow.
Oh, I'm going to California. I'm going that way.
Winter was over. Literally last week I was like, wow, it's spring. It's about to be summer. And now I just feel like now it actually is starting to feel like winter. Just way later.
It is. It's crazy. I'm like, I can't go golfing in shorts right now. It's that cold. I gotta wear pants. I gotta wear like golf pants to go golf. That's not right. Right? You want to do the shorts.
Yeah, knees have to be out to golf.
It is. And look, I got such great legs, so I try and show them off as much as possible. I mean, I'm just not that I'm conceited or egotistic or anything. I work hard on my calves. I work hard on my calves.
Maybe just double up, 2 sweaters so you can do the shorts.
Hey, two sweaters and shorts. Hey, Amy, how you doing? So, no problem. Amy, we started the webinar already, just so you know. So we're just over here chatting.
Yeah, I was watching it. I just was watching another call as well. We're on a meeting before this,
so no problem. But yeah, I will tell you, Pennsylvania, I get a kick out of this, right? And once again, I've never been a huge traveler in my career, right? I've traveled a lot. I've traveled lots on the West Coast, right? My territory when I've worked, it's always been west of the Mississippi, right? That's kind of where I played it. But I get a kick out of it, right? So we fly into Philadelphia. And as soon as I get in the car, I tell the guys, every time I fly to the East Coast, I feel like I'm going to be in a murder mystery movie. I mean, it's the old houses, it's the 50-foot trees, and you're just driving. You're like, okay, I know there's going to be an axe murderer on a road somewhere that I'm driving towards. I know it. I see it. I know it's going to happen, right? And it just, luckily, it never happens. The only other place like that, by where Amy lives, right? Whenever I go up to Washington or Oregon, it's just that really old feel to it. And it's different. It's different,
I think it's because The Shining, that movie maybe, because I feel like it's the forest and like being secluded a little. I don't know.
Shining, I think you got I don't want to say, what was it, the Jason movies? What was the Jason movies called with Jason Voorhees?
Jason Bourne.
Halloween? You mean
The Bourne?
No, not Halloween.
Halloween is Mike Myers, right?
Right. Halloween's Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th
Friday.
had Jason Voorhees. So
Sorry, I'm not a huge scary movie person. I know a lot of people like that, but I'm more a rom-com. Sorry.
look, no
I don't
offense,
do
if
scary
I lived
movies.
where you lived at, I would not watch scary movies either, right? Because you live in houses that are in scary movies, right? I mean, if you go up, once again, this is kind of weird. I'll just say this: if you go back east or if you go back northwest, you have a house, like one or two houses on a block, right? And there's distance between houses. My neighbors can hear me when I flush the toilet. We're so close, right? I mean, we're right on top of each other. So when I look at the Pac Northwest or East Coast, it scares me. I'm like, if I scream, nobody's going to hear me scream. That's just a little terrifying, So, but no, it's great to go see. I'll tell you, the other kick that I got out of there was we're driving through these little towns, right? And we sell commercial displays, right? We sell digital signage. And as we're driving through here, you see houses that are like 100-year-old. You see businesses that are in buildings that are 100 years old. But you see these gorgeous, huge LED displays in the middle of nowhere. And it wasn't like one shop had it. I mean, we were counting like 5 on every block, and we're like, okay, whoever the sales guy is out there selling those things to those people in the middle of nowhere, dude, good on you, man. You're a sales guy I want to meet, because I looked at the roads and there was like 3 cars on the road, right? So I'm like, you really attracted that much business with us? It was kind of interesting to see.
That
So
surprised me in California. We don't have a lot of that out here. A lot of ours are used to watch football games, and they're usually inside restaurants, and you see these big, multiple displays next to each other, or a huge display, which someone, there's a cafe really close to my house and they have a huge one in there. But when I went to California with you guys and we were out, I think all of us were out having dinner, the whole team, I looked up and there's like this huge display right there near the movie theater. And I'm like, what is that? Like, I was very surprised to see stuff outdoors, number one, and very surprised to see it just so huge, just sitting there. Like we have those big TVs and stuff, but they're usually inside and displays and, commercial displays. We don't do a lot outdoors in Oregon because it rains so much.
exactly.
The Duck Stadium, the University of Oregon, they have a huge outdoor one, but
They can afford it. They can afford it. Now, in saying that, I'll say that to those people that have logged on and are listening. Hey, MAXHUB has recently announced that we are doing outdoor LED displays, right? So if you just happen to be on the call, if you're the guy that sold or woman that sold all those digital signage, all those outdoor LEDs to those folks in Reading, Pennsylvania, or in the drive to Reading, Pennsylvania, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to see how we can work with you on it, because, dude, good on you. I kid you not. One of the digital signage was for a used bookshop. A used bookshop. Somebody convinced a company that sells used books that they need to spend about $5,000-$6,000 on an outdoor digital sign. And I'm like, okay, good for you. Well, we were kind of shocked by it. So, hey, I think we want to get started. Is that what we're going to do? It's 10:02. We good?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Well, one, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. You're going to notice this call is a little bit different. This is a little bit different call. I don't have a PowerPoint to go over, right? We don't have a lot of that to go over. We really want to sit down and have a discussion and do kind of a video bar 101. Simplify it, make it easy, hopefully help everybody understand what's their place, where they are, how you decide to what goes into what. So just so you know, because we don't have a PowerPoint, hi, I'm Charlie Montoya, Director of Sales and Marketing for UC Products and the IFPs. And we got Amy. Go ahead, Amy, introduce yourself.
Amie Fipps, Director of Marketing for MAXHUB, based out of Portland, Oregon, joining remotely.
And then we got Jessica. There you go.
I'm Jessica, MAXHUB's marketing coordinator, and I'm in California, SoCal, at our office. So, yep.
Yep. And I would normally be in the office, but once again, I just got back from Pennsylvania. I got home about 3 o'clock in the morning, not feeling the greatest in the world. So I don't want to get anybody sick. One, I don't feel like driving right now. So I figured I'd do it from my home office, and I love my home office. So it's nice. It's quick. It's easy. So video bars 101. Let's just talk really frank. And this is going to be a conversation where you're not going to see me promoting the MAXHUB product, right? I'm really not going to focus on bits, bytes, feeds, and speeds on our product. Really, what I want to hopefully help you all do is understand why people want video bars, what the craze around video bars are, where they're going, where they work, and how to make sure, especially if I got integrators on the call that are new to the video conferencing space, how to put the right video bar in the right room, because that's the part that I see gets messed up the most. If I can tell you, the call that I get most often is from people who go, hey, I just bought one of your video bars, and the audio is not really good at the back of the room. And the first question I have is, how far is the back of the room? About 35, 40 feet away. I'm like, yeah, really wasn't designed for that, right? So a little bit different setup. So let me kind of go back. Where did video bars come from? Why are they here? So I want to say about 6-7 years ago, really when video conferencing and Zoom had started, the Zoom room technology, we had seen still a lot of medium, large conference rooms being displayed and set up. One of the very large industry insiders, and many of you might know, you have Wayne House, you got Gartner, you got a lot of them. One of them had put out this documentation about the future of video conferencing and huddle rooms, and they actually had set it up as a triangle. And they said, this is the future of video conferencing. And at the top of the triangle were medium and large conference rooms, or traditional conference rooms. And they said, for every one traditional conference room that's going to be deployed, 50 to 100 huddle rooms will be deployed, right? So one traditional conference room will equal 50 or 100 huddle rooms. That really set the industry afire. That all of a sudden, when a manufacturer saw that, when they read that, everybody was reaching out to them. Hey, are you sure? Are you positive? Is this the focus on? This is what we're going with? Because I'll tell you, for me, who's been in the industry the longest time, we never talked about huddle rooms. We never talked about huddle rooms. Huddle rooms were an afterthought. Huddle rooms were typically where, hey, go ahead, put a Logitech webcam in there, all right, and be up and ready to go. We didn't really focus on that marketplace. When this report came out, it really set the world upside down. And I'll say this, at the time, I was at Aver. We launched our first video bar. Logitech was just getting ready to launch their first video bar, right? So the goal was to attack that marketplace, the huddle room space. And I say that because the design of the huddle room space was very simplified. 4 to 6 people at the most. People sitting no farther than 15 feet away. So when you look at the design of the huddle the video bars, they were very small. They were very, very simplistic in design. They typically had two speakers in it. They had a couple microphones, but their audio pickup was never farther than 18 feet away. Never, right? Their focus was huddle rooms. And the camera that we all put inside was the same camera. It was a 120-degree field of view camera. People are closer to the monitor, so I need to get them all. I need to be able to see everybody, right? That table is going to be very close to the screen, so that camera has to have a wide field of view, right? Before that, most cameras had an 80-degree field of view, right? Sometimes an 82. but really a much smaller field of view because they were designed to zoom in on people in the back of the room. They wanted to be able to zoom into that one person in the back of the room that would always sit at the back of the table, even though they were the only person in the room, and they wanted to zoom right in on them, right? Huddle room spaces, video bars, 120-degree field of view, few speakers, few microphones, really very simple plug and play. The thought process was people would bring in their laptop, they're going to plug HDMI into the monitor, they're going to plug USB into the computer, and that will give them access to the camera and speakerphone, and they're going to run their meeting on their laptop. That was the design. That was a plan, right? And that has been redone, repackaged, resold, reimaged, redesigned so many times, right? Once again, I love our MAXHUB video bar. I really do. But if you look at the traditional huddle room video bars, there's probably about 38 or 39 companies that do it now, right? Almost everybody has a huddle room video bar. And they were all originally designed for that huddle room space. Now, here's what happened. End users loved the simplicity of it. They loved how simple it was. I could buy one SKU. Have my camera, my speaker, my mic, and have it all up on the monitor. So I didn't need to do anything. I didn't have to run cables to the table. I didn't need to run audio to the table. I can have a very clean room. So people started to expand on it. They started going, you know what we need to do? Let's add a PC module on the back. So what was really popular back in the day was the Intel NUC. People buy these little Intel NUCs and go, I'm going to run the video call on that NUC. And then just have a keyboard on the table, and people will run the call on the keyboard, and they're using the NUC. Clean design, very simple. Then everything got flipped over because of COVID happened. COVID took place. COVID started to really take over. And schools really started to drive the sales of the video bars, right? And schools were buying video bars by the hundreds and the thousands to deploy them out to classrooms because they wanted to make sure their teachers could still connect to students, right? We all had that. I got 7 kids, right? So I know the pain of homeschooling during COVID, right? So if you went through that, trust me, I was there. I lived it. Whoa, did I live it? But classrooms started deploying this, and they were buying them by the hundreds and the thousands. I could name 2 school districts that each bought 10,000 units of video bars, right? Massive quantities. Were they for the right application? No, right? Put them in those rooms so they could be very simple. They put them in those rooms because they just wanted to have a camera. They didn't care the quality. They didn't care the application. They wanted to buy one SKU, put it in the room, and now the teacher's doing the lesson. The teacher is teaching back and forth to the kids on the other side. Was the camera the right one? No, they couldn't zoom in. Was the audio the right one? No, because those classrooms are 30 by 45 feet wide, right? So the audio wasn't great. The only reason they wanted them was because it was simple to install, simple to deploy. That's why they went with them. And then suddenly we had all these integrators going, hey, if it's easy for them to deploy it, if it's easy for them to set it up, maybe we can put it in more of the traditional conference rooms. And we started seeing a lot of enterprise customers as they came back to start to deploy video bars in medium and large conference rooms. Not that it was ever designed to do that, right? Once again, 120-degree field of view. Typically, a good field of view on that, I can see 15 feet deep. Medium conference rooms? No, 15 feet deep on that, and people are blurry. The audio, not good enough for it, right? Really not set up for that. So the industry started to change a little bit, right? And I give those that jumped ahead and did it very quickly a great shout. They did a good job of it, right? I think it was last year at Infocom. We started seeing more companies, more manufacturers of video bars come out with 2 camera systems, right? They started to deploy dual camera lenses. because customers still wanted the simplicity and the ease of use of being able to go, hey, I'm just putting it in the front of the room. I don't want wires to the table. I still don't want wires to the table. If you are an integrator, you know you've heard that a million times over, right? You walk into a conference room going, great. What's your vision of the room? I don't care. I just don't want wires on the table, right? That's typically the first thing out of everybody goes. I don't care. I just don't want wires. I want it clean, right? Put them in the ceiling. Put them on the wall. Put them anywhere else. Don't put it on my table. I like my table, right? Make it nice and clean. So video bars started to expand last year from single camera to dual camera technology, right? And those are more of the cameras and the systems that are designed for those medium and large conference rooms, because the camera now will typically have a 120-degree field of view camera, and then anywhere from a 3x to a 6x optical zoom camera that's back to that 92-degree field of view that's better at zooming in, right? So I can zoom in on people in the background.
I think I have a great photo of that I can share if you don't care, Charlie.
Yeah, go for it.
Really quick.
Well, and where you're sharing that, I'll kind of keep on with the story for a second here. So what you see in those rooms, yeah, no, it's a great image, right? So what you see in those rooms where they're medium to large is that the video bars have gone from being very small to being the size of a table, right? I mean, they've gotten massive. I will tell you, we came out with a prototype and we called it Babe Ruth because it was probably as big as Babe Ruth's baseball bat that he used, right? Back in the early 1900s. The thing was massive, right? But I tell us to everybody, when we design stuff in the manufacturing world, we design it specifically for applications. And the video bar, the traditional video bar, was small. It was tiny because it was going into a small and tiny room. It didn't need massive audio because it was only supposed to pick up 15 feet away. It didn't need multiple cameras 15 feet away, right? So now you're seeing the introduction of those next gen video bars where there are multiple cameras and they're big and massive because now I got to send out audio to larger rooms. I got to pick up audio in larger rooms. The other part you'll notice is you'll see the pricing has changed dramatically. Pricing typically when video bars came out, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200. Now, those medium and large conference rooms, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 plus, right?
The previous company, the first video that came out, the MSRP was $13.99. I remember that.
Oh yeah, and when we did $13.99 back in the day, we were like, are people going to buy it? That's kind of expensive. That's a little pricey, right? And it sold like hotcakes. They still do, right? Video bars are designed for people that want a simple installation, right? That's always what they've been about, right? I tell you, if you take a look at the history of video conferencing, and a buddy of mine, Simon Dudley, who's at Logitech, I worked with him at LifeSize, he used to put out great presentations, and he still does, right? But his presentations are always about, look at the history, look at the evolution. And if you look at the evolution of video, it went from difficult and poor quality to great quality, but still very difficult to do, to now really good quality and more simplified solutions, right? That's kind of the trajectory you always go with your product line. Not great quality, hard to do. Great quality, really simple to deploy, right? That's the goal. That's when you start getting mass penetration in the marketplace, right? So video bars, once again, here's what I would tell you. If you are going out today and if you are walking into a customer's office, or if you look at your office today, and if you go, hey, I have more than 10 people in this conference room, don't go with a video huddle bar. Don't go with a video bar with one camera. Don't do it. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to like it. Get a dual camera one. Get a dual camera one. And I'm going to tell you this right now, and I'll be very frank, we don't have one yet. But we will, right? But if I want to make sure that when you guys deploy our products or any products, you're happy with it, your customer's happy with it, the end users are happy with it. If you are seating more than 10 people in that room, you should be looking at a dual camera video bar. You just should, right? It's going to give you the best audio. It's going to give you the best video. It's going to give you everything you need, right? Under 10 people in the room, yeah, more traditional, simplified video bar, right? We have them, our SO5, SO7s, great products, great products, right? So that's the first part that I want to talk about, right? So size of the room compared to how you do it, right? Single camera to dual camera. I will still say this to you folks, at the end of the day, and I tell every customer, I tell every partner that I work with, if you take the top 5 or 10 video bars in the marketplace today, and you do the Pepsi taste test with them, right? Don't look at their name. Don't look at the company they're from. Hide that. And you just look at the video quality and the audio quality. The top 5 to 10 systems are going to be almost identical. There's not going to be a huge difference in the overall deployment, the simplicity. Really the big difference that you're going to see between the products, price and warranty. That's it. That's really it, right? I tell those people all the time, hey, great name product, great name of the company, awesome. Put it head to head. Make sure you're going to get what you want out of it, right? Done this a long time. Put them side by side. Really compare the products. And don't base this off your opinion of the name brand on the company. Base it on what you see on the call. And you're going to see very similar nature. 5, 10, very similar nature, right? So video bars, great application, great idea, phenomenal thought process put into those, right? Hit the mark, great. They've been driving sales amazingly. That's why you see 38 companies out there selling them. There's probably been 2 more companies that came out with a video bar while I've been doing this webinar today. But it's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to be a clouded and convoluted space, right? So really look at the application. Under 10 people, 1 camera. More than 10 people, 2 cameras. That's fine. Okay. So the second part that I want to talk about with video bars is something that's, I want to say about 3 or 4 years old. Somebody might tell me that I'm wrong. It might be a little bit older. But the other part that video bars have changed into now is now they've become more of a appliance-based product. What do I mean by that? When video bars came out, and most video bars in the marketplace today, they said, hey, you got to bring your own laptop. You got to bring your own processor to the meeting. We're the camera, we're the speaker, we're the microphone, right? Plug in to your laptop, and now you have the processor. About 3-4 years ago, companies said, you know what? Let's change that design a little bit. Let's kind of go a different direction with it. So companies started to add Android. And Android got very popular, right? It did. And people started going, hey, if I put Android in the system, now I can run Zoom. I can run Microsoft Teams. I can run Google. I can run all the different type of applications on that device. So people don't need to bring the laptop. They can walk in the room, use a GUI interface, and now make my call, right? It has definitely been a change in the marketplace towards that, right? We're seeing more and more companies do that. Once again, if you're looking for something of that nature, really take a look at your users, take a look at your client, and make sure that they are ready for that. And I say this to you very simply. The more you add in on video bars, you start to get away from the simplicity, right? And you start to add more complexity to it. And sometimes that complexity can be overwhelming for customers. I tell my company all the time, I'll be the first one to admit it. I hate my PTZ remote control. I really do. Because people walk in here and they'll see this remote control and they'll freak out. Everybody knows how to use a Fire Stick, right? Which one's more intimidating to you? Right? That's the way I tell people. When you look at these two, which one do you want to go, yeah, I want to use that compared to I want to pull my hair out? I say that because as you add more complexity into the video bar, you also run into a lot of those issues, right? So it can be confusing for people. It can be a little bit of overwhelming for people when they walk in the room and they go, hey, what do I need to do? How do I make this call? How do I set it up? How do I use it? It doesn't look the same like what I'm using on my desktop, right? And that's some of the issues that people run into. The other part that I tell people is make sure that you've tested out the product that you're using with the application that you're going to do it for, right? Don't just walk into somebody's showroom and let them show you the product. They've tested that, they've evaluated, they know exactly how it's going to work on any given second. Put it into your user base, right? Buy one, right? Ask for a demo unit, ask for an evaluation. Buy one, put it in your user base and see how they respond to it, right? I tell this to people all the time. When you're dealing with end users, when you're dealing with the actual person that are using the systems, most of them are very, very young in their overall experience of video conferencing. They're still very new to it. They're used to doing it on their laptop, and going into a conference room and having everything on the system can be a little bit of a new shock to them, especially on Android. Android just works a little bit differently. Now, in saying that, is it a good application? Yes. Is it the next generation of what we're doing overall? Yeah, everybody's moving to it, right? We're doing it with our all-in-one interactive flat panels based on PC modules, right? But everybody's moving into that mix. The other part I tell you, if you're an integrator, be prepared for the discussions you're going to need to have with that end user's IT department. Android is not always appreciated by security teams and IT divisions, right? I say this just from histories and years of dealing with them. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of when you go into that, be prepared, have those conversations early on. Yes, you're talking to the end user. Yes, you're talking to the person who's going to use the product. But with Android, you're bringing in processing power that their IT and their security team might not approve of. So you want to make sure you're checking that step and checking that off the box before you start getting to deployment, because it'll just cause you headaches. It'll cause you problems. I've been a part of many deployments where it's been stopped by security once installation's been on site because it did not pass their security screening. So you want to make sure you're aware of it, right? So really, when I look at it, I tell people, hey, talk to your customer, talk to your end user. How do you want to use this? How do you want to evaluate this? Android's great for some. Others can be a security concern. Others, it can just be a user concern on how they do it, right? So a lot of things, right? And I would tell you, I know I got a lot of people on the call, so feel free to ask questions if you have questions. Some of you, this might be very basic. Some of you, this might be like, oh, that's why that install didn't go as well as I wanted to. Oh, that's why that didn't work that well, right? Realistically, whenever I walk into a conference room, whenever I talk to a customer, my first question is, hey, totally understand you want to do a video bar. Video bars work great in rooms. Take a look at your room size, number one. That's going to dictate what type of video bar we're going to put in, right? Single camera, dual camera, right? Let's look at how you want to run your video conferencing systems, right? Do you want to be more BYOM? And that's the big term, guys, right? Everybody on the call, BYOM, bring your own media. Used to be BYOD, which meant bring your own device. It's just changed to BYOM, which is just, I'm bringing my laptop, I'm able to plug into it. One other thing on Android devices, if you are using an Android application today, make sure that your end users have the ability to do BYOM. Make sure that they can come into that room and plug USB-C onto it and use their laptop and take control of the camera, the speaker, and the microphone. If they don't, you're going to have a lot of customer complaints about it. You're going to have a lot of end users complain about it. You got to make sure that it's very flexible in nature, right? So those are the biggest issues when you look into video bars, right? So I'll finish this with saying, where does MAXHUB fit into this mix? MAXHUB today, when we look at video bars, we are much more on the simple side, right? As is our company. Simple to install, simple to buy, simple to deploy, simple to manage, right? So our video bars today work extremely well in those huddles and small conference rooms, right? Price point is under $700 MSRP, right? Full 3-year advanced replacement warranty on them, right? 120-degree field of view, microphones and speakers that'll easily pick up 20 feet away. So in that huddle room and small conference room, perfect for it, right? You literally, all you do is plug to the monitor, plug to your PC, you're up and ready to go, right? That's where we stand today. Are we going to be launching a lot of new products? Yes. Get ready, Enterprise Connect, get ready, InfoComm. You're going to see a lot of great things coming out, right? But today, that's the area we play in. You're going to see more and more come out from us as we continue to drive the marketplace, right? And will you see us in dual camera technology? Yeah, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. Yeah, you are. Right. Are you going to see us in more medium and large conference rooms? Well, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. Yeah, you are. Right. Just me. So really understand today, huddle, small conference room, perfect for MAXHUB. You start getting above 10 people in a room, need dual cameras. Got some great competitors out there, right? And I'll say they have great products, but you're definitely going to see a huge price point jump. It's not going to be sub $700. It is going to be $3,000 to $5,000 price points, right? So you got to be prepared for that. So hopefully that might have answered a lot of your questions out there, right? Because I know video bars are one of the pieces of the puzzle where customers love them because they're simple to install, typically simple to use, especially when you do BYOM. But they can cause havoc if you don't put them in the right conference rooms. They can just be nightmares for you all, right? So that's kind of what we wanted to do today, bring you that kind of video lesson 101 on video bars. Why, when, how, and kind of what's going to be the best for you. So Amy, Jessica, we had kind of a quiet crowd. Oh, you got a PowerPoint. Yeah, so our SO7. So I love my marketing. They're like, no, we got to push front.
No, I just wanted to bring up, like you said, bring your own meeting and the size of the conference rooms and things like that, and kind of, that you said there's a lot of companies out there, but we do work for MAXHUB, so I did want to show our product that we're coming out with.
And look, I would tell you that room is a great representation of a huddle in a small conference room. Those people are no more than 10, 15 feet away from that camera, right? Very close to it. Very simple to pick up the audio, very simple to pick up the video, right? And look at, one thing that I didn't touch on, I touched on where cameras are today. Camera technology has gotten a lot better as well, right? Back when we first started launching cameras, it was all pan, tilt, zoom, move left, move right, move up, move down, zoom in, zoom out. That's all you had, right? Now, today, cameras have auto framing features, right? Which is our product has, the SO7. Great. I got a 120-degree field of view picture, but I only got two people sitting in the corner. I don't want to see all that empty space. Auto framing will put them in the right area. Auto framing will bring that picture in and show them in the right area, just like Amy's showing there. Our cameras as well on the SO5, SO7 have voice tracking technology. It's come a long way. Look at voice tracking technology. I will say this, always been one of my biggest fears in this industry, but wow, have we come a long way in voice tracking technology, right? When I first started doing voice tracking technology, you needed 2 monster cameras and about $20,000 to do it right, and a lot of acoustics going on in that room. Now, our video bars do it, right? And literally, you just go in, you hit one setting on it, say pick up voice tracking, it sees who's speaking, who's talking, where they're at, and with the microphones built in, it'll zoom right in on them, right? So it gives you a lot more flexibility because we're all building to get rid of the remote control, right? You want to walk in the room, you want to sit down, you don't want to worry about anything. You just want to have your meeting. So things like auto framing, voice tracking technologies really help simplify that overall solution for it. And at MAXHUB, we're definitely leading the way with that, right? We're definitely focusing on that type of technology to where you don't need to worry about your remote controls, right? Just walk in, have your call, and you're ready to go.
And you caught me, Charlie, because I didn't do it right. I still have bring your own device on here, so I'll have to update that to bring your own meeting. But
it's you know what? And look at I think BYOD. I think the reason why they started to change it, and it might be, look, somebody can tell me if I'm wrong, right? BYOD used to be, bring your own drinks to a party, right? And I think they Jessica, come on, you knew that one.
No,
Right?
BYOB, bring your own your beverage.
Yeah, I heard BYOM, whatever, maybe I'm wrong. But BYOM is very specific. Bring your own meeting, right? Bring your own meeting to the room. So I think you kind of simplified it a little bit. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm hanging out with a different crowd than everybody else is.
You're probably on the cutting edge, Charlie, because I've just always known it as BYOD, but that was I've done that for years, so I'll need to update it.
Yeah, BYOM. Look, I will tell everybody, if you're looking for 2 catchphrases in the video world today that are exploding, BYOM, bring your own meeting, and video equity. Those are the two phrases that everybody is saying in every call and every meeting, right? And actually, Amy, do me a favor, we can stop the presentation for that. Just, I'll touch on that at the very end so everybody can understand what they are. BYOM, bring your own meeting. I'm bringing my own laptop. And what that simply means is, and we know this today, right? There was a great research done by Zoom, and Microsoft Teams did it as well. And I think it kind of got proliferated into the area. Over 85% of the companies today that do cloud-based video conferencing have not standardized on one. They typically are using two. And the majority of the companies, 60% of those companies that were interviewed, do three, right? So there are three different cloud-based service providers that people are using in their conference rooms today. So yes, I might have this set up for a Zoom room. Yes, I might have it set up for a Microsoft Teams room, Google Meet, whatever it may be. But I need to make sure that my employees can still walk in, utilize the technology that's in the room for their Cisco WebEx call, for their other cloud call, right? I actually heard somebody say 8x8. I hadn't heard about them for a while, right? But all those other applications that are out there, they need to be able to use it. That's where that BYOM technology comes from, right? And that's where MAXHUB, we've been doing it for a long time, and you're going to see us continue to do it. Because whatever application you use, we want to make sure you have that flexibility to plug anything in. So I can bring my laptop now to any one of our video bars, plug directly into it, and have my meeting from my laptop utilizing technology. We do it on our IFPs as well, right? IFPs, I plug in via USB-C. I control the camera, I control the speaker, I control the microphone. Everything's included in it. BYOM is very important for the flexibility and the simplicity of the room, right? You want to make sure that people can go in and use it easily, but you also want to make sure that room gets used as much as possible. So having it flexible and it can do anything you want is great. So that's BYOM, and that's a big talking point lately. Second big one, which I have heard crazy since Zoomtopia. And I started to hear it before that as well. But Zoomtopia is when I think it really took off. Video equity. What video equity means is simply this. Right now, I'm on a call. I got Jessica has her own screen. Amy has her own screen. I have my own screen, right? This is what we've gotten used to during COVID. Everybody calls and they're part of the call, but I'm remote, but I have my own screen. Everybody can see Charlie, right? And I'm an egotistical guy. I want everybody to see Charlie, right? So take it to that next step. When I go into a conference room, not everybody can see Charlie. There are a lot of people in the room. At times, Charlie sits behind another person and he gets blocked. He can't be seen. Video equity is trying to bring in multiple cameras to be able to catch the person and give them their own screen on the display, right? Microsoft Teams Front Row is doing that extremely well. Zoom Room, I think they announced what they call Director, and I'm sure somebody can correct me on it, but they kind of launched what they call Director technology. And what that does is it allows their system to pick up people's faces and put them on the screen as if they're in their own little box, right? Now, what does this take? It takes different type of camera technology. A lot of it we've already designed, a lot of it we're already using it, a lot of it we're going to be implementing into those types of markets here shortly, right? Think of 360-degree cameras, right? I did a meeting this week, and I know this isn't video bar related, but I did a meeting this week. And the biggest question people ask me is, I don't get 360-degree field of view. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. And when I started to explain video equity, and I started to explain what people are used to, and then I showed them the technology, went off like a light bulb. Right? So you're going to see those two phrases really be around for the next few years. And you're going to see technology be built around those two phrases. BYOM, hey, I need to be flexible. I need to be easy. I can bring any type of meeting I want to that room. Video equity, need to make sure I can give everybody their own page of the screen. I want to be able to see them as if I'm in the room, right? And it's interesting, because if you look at traditional camera technology, like what I'm on right now, I'm in a conference room and we just got done with a meeting. We're actually just on a Microsoft Teams call, right? And on one side, I had my CEO and I had one of my directors behind him. On the other side, I had our controller and I had our VP behind her. I couldn't really see the two people in the back because they were being covered by the people in the front. They're not being seen clearly. I hear them. I know they're there, right? When people lean back, I can see them. But on a traditional call, they get blocked by quite a bit. But if I have a camera on the center of that table, I'm able to pick them up fully. I can pick them up cleanly. And now I can present them on the other side so people can see them as they are. That is video equity. And that's where the video conferencing world is starting to move towards very quickly, very quickly. So I just tell you, if you haven't looked it up, if you're not sure what it is, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you more about it. Happy to show it to you as well, give you some ideas how it works. But also, I tell you, read up on it. It's definitely going to be the next big training video. So with that, I know our audience has been quite a lot today. I hope you feel bad for my voice, and because I don't feel good, that's why you're not asking a lot of questions. But
yeah, Charlie, people can reach out to you. I'll tag it on when I tag this on YouTube for the Calendly link. Did I say that right? Calendly. Now you got me doing it. But yeah, they can do that. And then don't forget to follow us on social media at LinkedIn at maxhubusa.com or at maxhubusa, and also maxhubusa.com for our website. Sorry. I also have something to do to give away 2 gift cards in a little bit. So
awesome.
It's dropped off, but
and we can also announce it now. I think we're going to be announcing our next webinar probably on Monday, and that's going to be I think we're doing the Enterprise Connect pre-show. Am I correct in that, Amy?
yeah, and we're gonna have a special guest, so I've got to announce that as well for our special guest. So hopefully that'll be exciting. Somebody who doesn't work for MAXHUB is going to be on the call talking about our products.
No, that'll be awesome. And yeah, folks, I mean, so Enterprise Connect is right around the corner. It's going to be end of March timeframe. So we know, if you can't attend, we still want to make sure that we can talk to you about all the products we're going to be launching, be coming out with at the show, and give you a really good preview of what's going to be coming out from MAXHUB. A lot of good things. So, yeah. So, good, Amy, you're going to
pick a number, or I can just do it random again.
Let Jessica do a number. Jessica's good at numbers.
Yes, that's so fun. Okay. 4. Are we doing 2?
Yes, we are doing 2. So
Okay.
4, I've got an Amanda S. So I'll reach out to you.
Congrats, Amanda.
And then if you want to pick another number
18.
all the way up to 41.
Oh, 18.
Now I gotta count.
So sorry. No, then I'll do 41.
Do 18. We don't want the person at number 18 to get mad.
Yeah. No,
Lucas M. So I'll write their full names down really quick,
Cool.
and then I'll
Congrats,
email
Lucas.
them.
Congrats, Amanda, Lucas.
And
I
they
almost
will
need one
both
of
be
my
getting a $25 Visa gift card, care of Gift Ya. So I'll email you, and then it'll be in your inbox.
Hey, and once again, we want to thank you all for joining on the calls today. Right, we're trying to build content and build information that's helpful and useful for you all. So if there's anything that you want to learn more about, anything that you'd like us to talk about, let us know. Once again, I've been doing this for 22 years, so a lot of knowledge and want to get it all out before I forget half of it. So feel free to reach out to us. Let us know some content that you'd like to see in the future. Like I said, Enterprise Connect is going to be the next one. In the future, we're going to be talking more about our DV LEDs, our podium. Got a lot of stuff coming out, right? So we're going to continue to build more and more content for y'all to watch and see. So we really appreciate your time. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
MAXHUB.